All right. She's on the 51st body count, but redeemed. I was on a show last night with my buddy Sir Hill Speaks. You should check him out. He has some good content going on over there. Check him out. But I get on the panel every now and then when he invites me. It's always fun to see all these different perspectives out there. And it's always fun to watch all those different perspectives that's creating the results that we have out here today. It's always fun to watch because at least I have better perspective and I can continue to be engaging with other people as well. So there was a joke that was running there. 50 somebody was saying, he asked the question, okay, do you guys know what a body count is? Before I get into that, let me just see here, make sure that we cover that, finish that off really quickly. Do you guys know what body count means? You guys know what body count means, right? Body count. Everyone is obsessed with body count, including women now too. They're becoming obsessed with body count because once you keep repeating something over and over, everyone just gets obsessed and it becomes another unrealistic expectation. In terms of relativity, maybe the men out there so far are all better than Martel. No, they're not. No, they're not. Okay. An average man out there is probably like Martel. Not in terms of cheating, but in terms of knowing some of these things at that's emotional level, right? Manage your expectations in your relationships. Yes, we always teach that. Is this on YouTube? Yes, it should be on YouTube somewhere. You cheaters are gross. You have to be a serious liar with no moral compass to be a cheater. I can't see Martel past the cheater. If you're at a rock bottom, a healthy enough rock bottom, you will cheat. You will cut corners just to make yourself feel better. I'm not justifying, I'm just telling you the nature of human beings, okay? Not just cheating, but a whole 5-year relationship with another man. Now, that's a lot. Why you guys getting triggered? Why are you triggering yourselves in the chat now? Very useless guys. Okay, thank you. His issues are the ones I laid out. The least of his issues is the fact that he cheated. Actually, in my opinion. But maybe they are linked together somehow, some way. Who knows? Yeah. Let's see. After his atrocity, he has the audacity and effrontery to be talking about some fellatio, yeah. Anyway, I don't care about the body count. I only care, about your sexual status. If you have HIV/AIDS, or you're a woman, right, Kathy? Of course, you don't care about body count. Duh, right? You don't care about body count. Well, most women could care less about body counts or what kind of experience, as long as it's not moving mad or it looks dangerous, like you said, in terms of disease or stuff like that. I think that's when most women start to like, okay, this guy is moving mad. Key Pearl says, I care about body count. So what body count would a man? How many body counts would a man have that will make you feel like, nah, he's for the streets? I think most men would like to have a woman who has 3 or less, not 4 or less, maybe 5 or less, but 3 or less. But not 4 or less. 4, if you say 4, that sounds like a lie. It's an evil number. And grown men understand that they should not expect the truth from women, okay? That not all bodies count, okay? The lame ones have unrealistic expectations. They expect to somehow know the complete truth. But the lame behavior is extending beyond just asking for it these days. It's more so about the obsession, right? So they will say, I don't ask, but they're actively looking for ways to find out, right? Whereas they are actually supposed to be able to just tell, just by the lifestyle. If a person has changed their lifestyle completely all around, but you're attracted to them, then that's all you should focus on, not their past. But you can't be attracted to them at the same time trying to question their past and be a detective. That's lame behavior. You don't like it, you keep it moving, right? Because that behavior is going to make you attract the wrong results too, right? So women, for women, not all body counts, right? Is that correct? So remember this topic we're talking about. A woman is on her 51st, number 51 body count. Can she be redeemed? That was the question he asked on the show last night. Go check out the show. It's on the show once we're done. Go check it out on Sir Hill Speaks network. No, I was answering our last question regarding knowing how body count is. Oh, I forgot what the answer you gave to. Oh, you do know the body count, right? That's what you were answering. Okay. It has to be relative to his age too. That's a good point. Okay. You're trying to date a 51-year-old woman. Okay. She's not a virgin, but you want her to have 3 body counts or less.
Not be juju be that.
You're whining, Abby. Oh, whine. You're whining. Right? You're whining yourself. What? Third, you reply, my own is as long as he's not messing around while we're together and you're clean. Okay. You know, lifestyle, people's lifestyle will tell you everything you need to know. Keep in mind what I just said, that you need to know, not what you want to know. The lame want to know more information than necessary, okay, because they don't trust themselves, okay. That's why. But a confident person, they know how to pay particular attention to the present. They don't want to miss out on the present, right? As much as possible. We all want to look at past. We all want to look into the future, plan for the future. But people that live the best quality of life, they know how to take advantage of the present. They don't want to miss out on life effectively, like in this moment, right? What's the difference between 3 and 4? 1 is even number. we don't believe it. The other one is like, okay, thank you. Right? But also, I think it's a red flag if a woman is walking around town talking about her body count. I think it's red flag. Unless she's a virgin, even at some point, if all you're doing is virginity crusader, I will start to have questions around what is it that you're trying to compensate for, right? We've had that conversation before, right? And that doesn't negate the fact that it's a beautiful thing if you want to preserve yourself. How old is the 51 body count person? We don't know, but the question is that if somebody has 51 body counts, let's use 23 years old for an example. She slept with 51 people. She's on her 51st. Can she be redeemed? Can that person bond with another person? Is it possible to redeem that person? Can they have a healthy relationship is the conversation. So I will go look at that. We can have that conversation more extensively later on. Let me see. If you live in a small town and you have slept with 1/4 of the city, we're gonna have to find a new location and start fresh. Reset the body count. Delete that right? Reset. Voila. Voila. Anyway, so I had a I hope that I still okay. So I had a word that I was gonna put in yesterday before they ended that show, but I wasn't able to because the show ended, which is fine. But I thought it was good content that I will come here and share with you. But before we get into that, let me show you something really quickly. All right, let's go here. Let's go find Sir Hill Speaks. And I'll show you what we're talking about. Sir Hill Speaks. That way, when you find it, you recognize it. Go support the brother. Sir Hill Speaks. He has 50,000 subscribers now. That's good stuff. So this was yesterday, I think, 20 hours ago. All right, let's go there. There you go. Let me show. So you can see your boy right there in the corner. Let's see what they're talking about.
I respect that.
Right? I mean, there's evidence. Like, why are you going to be stressing over something that they have evidence of? I don't get it. Just admit it. Like, it's no biggie. You were young and you had fun.
All right, so they were talking about Freaknik, the Freaknik documentary that's coming out. She said, just admit it. Like, yeah, you're right. Nah, that's not how it works. But any man that listened to this beautiful lady's talk yesterday and actually take what they're saying to the bank, as opposed to they're just saying what we need to hear. I don't feel sorry for you. Whatever you get from that, that's good for you. Because again, even as men, we put on filters. We say what we think needs to be heard. For the most part. Some of us obviously are content creator. We say our mind because we realize that is the best way to stay sustainable. But generally, human beings in general have filters. They say what they think sounds good, especially in a space where men are, no disrespect to Sahil's platform, where men are actively always are inclined to dragging women. Not his platform in particular, but the ecosystem of that particular channel. But anyway, with that being said, the first topic was about Freaknik. Then they ended up in body count, and then they talked about empathy. Like they asked a question. He asked a question: Do men have empathy for women? And then he asked the vice versa question, right? Do women have empathy for men? Right? When he asked the women, do men have empathy for women? The women on that platform said yes. I didn't believe them. Okay. Shout out to Take Heed. She was here earlier. I didn't believe them. Okay. I believe they are. Anyway, I didn't believe them anyway. They asked them, especially after they asked them, do women have empathy for men? They said no. They all said no. I didn't believe it either. Right? And especially majority of the questions that come on the shows, they're generalized questions. So I believe it's one of those platforms where they start the conversation and I'll continue from here because I try to dig into the nuances, right? So I just didn't believe them. I just believe a typical woman will not just say, yeah, no, we're just wicked to men. But also they're generalizing, which is fine because I generalize to a large extent too. So, but that's what they were talking about. But this was what I want to give you my conclusion from the show yesterday. What's the name of the YouTube channel? It's called Sir Hill Speaks. Sir Hill, SIR, Sir Hill. Let me this right here. Sir Hill. See that spelling on the screen? Sir Hill Speaks Network. What's the name of the YouTube channel we did that? I like his show and love when you're on the panel. Yeah, it depends on what the situation is. Around stereotypical gender roles, no one has empathy like that. Thank you. See, I would believe an answer like that more. A more nuanced answer. Okay? A more nuanced answer is what I would require. Like, what do you mean by empathy? Well, it depends. I like to hear more like it depends. It depends. The truth is that there's a lot of women that move like they have no empathy. They can't relate with the men. The truth is that there's a lot of men, especially in the manosphere space, red pill space, that are not capable of having any empathy. When people are hurt, they hurt other people, not always deliberately. That's just all they can see. They see hurt. They see red everywhere. Okay. I would like to see more conversations like that, but it is what it is. But after the conversation, I had a word I was going to share, but I couldn't share it because the show ended, which is fine with me. I was like, well, that's why I got a platform. I'll come here and share with you. So I'm going to read this to you, and I want you to take this to the bank. This was it. Someone was making a point in the beginning, and that was, let me show you. This is a guy in red hat and red. That's Ricky right there. Ricky was making a point in the beginning that I agreed with, that went over everybody's body, over everybody's head, which is, your woman will tell you everything. Verbally, no. With the way she moves, yes, 100% of the time. Hold yourself accountable if you're not able to detect everything she's telling you 100% of the time with the way she moves. If you expect her to tell you everything you need to know and you want to know verbally, that's unrealistic expectations, and you deserve every premium breakfast that comes after you hearing this from me. If you don't think so, you're complaining, because they talk about complaining. Sir Hill doesn't like when you say people complain. I think we should hear people out. Okay, they're not complaining. They're begging for desire. They're negotiating desire. Because they work. It doesn't work. Majority of the time, the context is romantic relationships, which means everybody is acting like children, not just women, everybody. Okay? They're begging. If you want to be a leader and want the rewards that comes with leadership, you have to assume the responsibility of how your critique is received. So they ask a question. They say, they ask the ladies, how do you receive criticism? Do you say like, oh, criticism is received? Like, criticism is received as criticism. If people feel attacked, they will receive it as, they will get defensive. That's the reality. There's no way around it. If you don't understand that, you deserve every negative response that comes from that, especially if you're trying to claim leadership at the same time. Okay? There was another gentleman that was on the show, the one in red, not the red hat, the one in red. He was trying to make a point in the beginning that I felt like it was an answer to a question that wasn't asked. But eventually I see that it was just reading the room ahead of time. Okay? He was trying to say that we're responsible for our reality. I always agree with that. But I'm also patient enough these days to know that I need to acknowledge people's feelings first before we get to that space. In fact, I appreciate Sahil's platform for asking generalized questions first and get a bunch of input and then end up at maybe some level of nuance, right? But he ended up being right. He ended up being right in that respect, that you have to hold yourself accountable, responsible first before you're attempting to hold people accountable. If you can't do that, or if you come off as you're obsessed with holding women accountable, there's a good chance that you lack accountability from my observation thus far. So I disagree with Uncle Ricky on that, because he kept saying it takes two people. It takes two people. I always tell you here, it doesn't take two people to start. It takes one person. It takes one person to start. The result is that it takes two people to create the harmony, the dance that you're not enjoying, that everybody's seeing. Yes, that's the result you're looking for. That's when you hit that equilibrium, yes. But to start, especially if you find yourself in a place of crisis, no, it's going to take leaders, competent leaders, okay? And it takes one side, okay? It takes one side. It takes influence. It takes time. It takes educating people on values, the patience that's needed for that, right? So I disagree with him on that. Men are not walking away. He said men are walking away. No, they're not walking away. They're scared shitless. They're scared that somebody's going to take all their money. They're scared that they will end up with a modern woman, whereas that's the only thing we have, modern woman, right? And they're begging Six the Goddess for love on YouTube. Shout out to Anton. They're begging Six the Goddess for love on YouTube, precisely. Okay? We are capping. Men are capping. The conversations are attempting to negotiate the desire, and it doesn't work. And it's not working. Sir Charles, I was trying to talk to him because he was having a hard time just saying, yes, sometimes you have to hold people accountable. Part of self-love is holding other people accountable. You don't want people to walk all over you anyhow. You don't want to be a doormat for anybody, because that can make people, certain types of women especially, they will lose respect for you if they feel they can walk all over you. Not certain type, all women. Yes, I'm generalizing. If they feel like you're a doormat, right? It is what it is. So sometimes you have to say, no, don't do that. Especially if they're going to hurt themselves, hurt you in the process, right? Getting the result you're looking for in a romantic relationship heavily depends on your tone. Both men or women. Okay? Depends on your tone. That's a fact of life. That's reality. I don't know why everybody is trying to shy away from that. I'm still like, wait, why are we always going this direction of, oh, you should just hear the truth just because it's the truth? No. You have unrealistic expectations. Heavily depends on your tone and how they feel if and when your message lands. That's if your message lands at all. Because sometimes they shut down before your message lands. Okay? It just depends on what you're talking about. My observation is that people who hate accountability have tendency of spending their whole energy on holding others accountable, therefore creating the same result perpetually. There's nothing wrong with holding people accountable, but I can smell obsession with accountable when I see it. Okay? The obsession, okay? Empathy is lacking on all sides of these conversations. On all sides. Okay? That's part of our problems. And it's even a higher height of problem when you point at one side only, because even if you're right, it's going to make them feel attacked. The average person is going to feel attacked. They will shut down. You're not going to get what you're looking for from them. For example, these ladies, the ladies on the screen, they gave us the answer we were looking for, which is, oh yes, women have no empathy for men. But it went right over their head because it's never enough. They didn't say, oh, that's empathy. The question was, do women have empathy for men? And they say, yes. Women have, ain't that some empathy? But it went way over everybody's head. Nobody acknowledged it. I didn't because, I don't do over talking. I'm sorry. I just don't do talking over each other, I should say, right? For example, these ladies gave us the answer we wanted and also sounded good out of empathy for men, in my opinion. But I'm guessing that wasn't enough. Maybe not enough, right? Because it wasn't acknowledged. At this point, without self-awareness and emotional intelligence, and especially from the men, you can forget about the family structure. Why especially for the men? Why are you always blaming the men? Let me repeat myself again. Because they want to be leaders. Okay? The moment they decide and rescind and say, hey, I don't need to be leader, I will exonerate. I will let them go. Okay? Again, there hasn't been much room for seduction and attraction in these conversations because everybody is stuck on morals and not competence. Anti-seducers, number 1, brutes, no patience. Number 2, suffocator, neediness. 3, moralizer, the police. We will keep creating the results if we don't self-reflect, okay? Your results are your results. Your problems are yours. Never give it away. Let's keep the conversation alive. Okay? So that's why with that, go check them out. Every now and then I make it on the show. Shout out to Sir Hill Speaks. I'm sure you will see this either as a video later on or something. We can continue the conversation. All right. But yes, we've done justice today. I think we should call that a day. What do you think? I think we should call it a day, don't you think? Shout out to everybody that came back here today. Shout out to all the supporters. Life with Natu. Life with Natu, you be hiding in the background scenes, eh? Broke man gets no empathy. Voila. Shout out to you, Key Pearls. Shout out to you, Kathy Williams, D Love. Shout out to everybody. On your way out, do me a favor, as usual. If you can be gracious enough to hit the like button, share and subscribe, that will be highly appreciated. Okay, that will be highly appreciated. See, I went to DP my nails, so I couldn't type. I feel you. I don't blame you. Soft life all day long. Hopefully been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one. Peace.